Real estate agents. Spring is prime time for house hunting, but before you join the fray, be aware that what you don't know could hurt you. Smart Money's Gene Chatzky has some tips on what to look for in a real estate agent. Gene, good morning.
Good morning.
What are some of the basic things you should know about every real estate agent before you go about picking any one of them?
Well, traditionally, real estate agents have only worked for one side of the transaction. They've always worked for the seller. That has started to change in the 80s, and now there are a number of different kinds of agents that you can choose from, so you need to understand the differences.
All right, we're going to go to that in just a little bit, but first off, what are some of the things you should not tell an agent? I mean, you shouldn't come clean, right?
Well, if you have an agent that you know is working specifically for the buyer, and we will explain that, then you can come clean. But otherwise, you don't want to let them know how much money you make. You don't want to get in the car and have a conversation with your spouse about how much you can actually really afford to spend on this house when you know you're going to make a lower offer. You don't want to let on that your company is going to defer some of the closing costs, because all of those things can really affect your negotiating position.
Okay, well, let's go to what you say are the 4 types of real estate agents, and then we'll talk about each one of them. You say there are 4 different types: the traditional agent, the exclusive buyer agent, the non-exclusive buyer agent, and the dual agent. Sounds very shady.
Yes.
Let's start with the first one, traditional agent.
Okay, traditional agents work for the seller. If you list your home with them, they work for you. If you are buying a home through them, they also work for the seller. These are the people that you want to be very careful of telling them how much you can spend on a house.
And that's the majority of them out there, right?
That's right. This is how business has always been done.
Okay, exclusive buyer agent.
This is a new wrinkle, and if you have your druthers, if you have a choice, this is the way that you want to go. The problem is that there are only 3,000 of them across the country. They work just for buyers. They never take a listing, so they don't have the sort of conflict of interest on the other side of the deal.
Why are there so few of them?
There are so few because giving up the listing income is a big sacrifice, so people have to be assured that they have a good, strong client base before they're willing to make this move.
Non-exclusive buyer agent, is that as obvious as it sounds?
Pretty much. These are agents who work for buyers but from within a traditional real estate firm, which is fine as long as you fall in love with a house that's listed with some other company. But once you fall in love with an in-house listing, your buyer agent then becomes a dual agent, which means they're negotiating within the firm, and the information that gets shared across the water cooler just because it's laying out on a desk can be really detrimental to your position.
How's a house hunter supposed to know what type of agent they're getting? I mean, they're not going to say, "Hi, how are you? I'm a dual agent."
No, they'll never say I'm a dual agent, but if they're an exclusive buyer agent, you better believe that they're going to advertise it. These people consider themselves consumer advocates. They get on quite a high horse, and they like to tell you exactly who they're representing.
So that's the one you want?
That's the one that you want.